Welcome to Loreto, Mexico, a small city located in Baja California Sur, about 4 hours north of La Paz, along the stunning Gulf of California. The main draw to this area tends to be sport fishing. Outdoor lovers should not miss a trip to this adventure paradise. Hiking and mountain biking trails, ancient cave paintings, 5 stunning islands right off the coast, whale watching during the winter months, kayaking, and plenty of beaches to relax on year-round. To get here, I flew to Los Cabos, spent a few days at the beautiful Rancho Cacachilas near La Ventana, dropped my rental car off in La Paz, and then got picked up by the rest of the blogging group I was with to finish the final 4 hours of the trip to Loreto. Good morning from Loreto. I am here for the second time and I'm so excited to explore a little bit more, enjoy the sunshine, blue skies, and eat some delicious food. Let's get exploring. The center of the city is small and easy to explore on foot. There's the City Hall building with beautiful murals inside that are free to visit. There's the Mission Church, one of the first on the entire peninsula, and a small museum that you can visit next to it as well. There's a fantastic Vaquero museum that is free to visit and has memorabilia and information about the history of the cowboys here in Baja California Sur. You can support the museum by enjoying one of their delicious coffees out in the garden or heading to the bookstore next door, which I'll visit later in this video. After exploring the town, we hopped in the van with our tour guide Mario and headed to the nearby mission town of San Javier. We are on the road between Loreto and San Javier, and we've just pulled over to a little area where we can see the beautiful canyon here and the mountains. I am in the beautiful town of San Javier. There is the mission. It is one of 16 missions that are run along the Baja Peninsula, all the way from San Jose del Cabo up to Tijuana. This was the second mission around Loreto. It's pretty spectacular. It is warm today. San Javier was built after Loreto when the Jesuits realized that there wasn't enough water in the city of Loreto to sustain them. The mission was built in 1699 and it was completely abandoned by 1817. While you're here, do not miss the machaca burritos at La Palapa San Javier, run by 84-year-old Memo, who said the secret to a long life is olives and cold showers. We got back to Loreto in time for an evening stroll along the Malecon to watch the sunset. It's a windy night here in Loreto, but the sky looks pretty amazing. Still warm enough for a t-shirt. Forgot how beautiful it is down here. Up here, over here, the sun setting on the west coast makes the light behind the islands here incredible. We explored the downtown after dark and then headed for an insanely delicious dinner at Raiz, the restaurant inside Hotel Posada de las Flores. 4 courses with wine and beer pairings, and a tequila cream to finish it all. The fish was the star of the night, though.
I don't see any fruit because, we have been getting a drought. And you see how crunchy they look like. So that means
We have driven about 60 kilometers north of Loreto to a place called Canipole. I'll put a link, a little pin to the location here, but We're headed now on a little hike. It's about 5 kilometers, or 4 kilometers, sorry. And we're gonna find some cave paintings. I had to borrow the tour guide's hat because I forgot mine at home. And it's hot, so very kindly gave me another hat that he had in the car. So staying sun safe. It's always nice every now and again to take a guided hike, especially in a place that's completely new to you, like the deserts of Loreto, because he points out, the guide points out like the plants. We've been smelling different leaves, learning about the uses that these plants were to the native people. We've been, just like stopping and learning about the canyon and the cactus and the mountains. It's great.
Pedimos, Señor, permiso para poder entrar aquí en tu lugar, en tu recinto. A todos nuestros ancestros, Señor, te pedimos que nos ayudes, que nos protejas de toda carga espiritual negativa que pueda venir a este lugar y en contra de todas las personas que estamos aquí. Te pido, Señor, que pongas paz en el corazón de cada uno de nosotros, que la paz que sobrepasa el entendimiento humano esté cayendo ahora sobre cada uno de nosotros y nos proteja con tu escudo poderoso. En el nombre de Jesús. Amén.
Amén. Puma, pues, aquí está la cabra, la cabeza, estas están las orejas, the ear, the claw.
So he's talking about the mountain
This
lion.
is hunting the deer. Aquí están los cuernos, the stomach, the tail, the feet, the foot.
So it is a constellation
Yes.
that they see on
Esta es la gallina del monte,
Yeah.
Gallina del monte.
chicken mount,
Mountain chicken.
chicken, yes, and the sun, and dragonfly.
Oh, because over there at the
We eventually made our way back through the canyon to the van, where we had some more machaca burritos before driving back to Loreto for the afternoon. I decided to do some shopping for a new hat, since I had to give the guide his hat back at the end of that last tour. So the museum that we went into has a bookstore that partly supports the museum because the museum is free entry. It's mostly by donation. So if you want to support the museum, a good way to do that is to go next door to the bookstore, which is an English bookstore and one of the few places you can pick up some of the really great local guidebooks. There's one in particular that I've had on my list for a long time. I'm really hoping that they have a copy of it. I love in Loreto, whichever direction you look, you peek down a little side street, you look across the water, you look down this way, you look up that way, mountains. Mountains everywhere. The silhouette of a mountain as the sun is setting, the islands and how incredible they are. Sorry if you can't hear me, it's blustery out here. After getting blown away while watching the sunset, I went to one of my favorite restaurants in Loreto for dinner, Orlando's. Since we were a big group, they made us a couple of big share platters, including, I'm not kidding, the best chiles rellenos that I have ever eaten, finished with a very delicious flan. Gross. Good morning from Coronados Island. We're getting a welcome from the seagulls. Isla Coronados is it took us about 35 minutes from Loreto to get here by boat. And we're about to hike, I don't know if I can show you the peak over here. We're about to hike up to this volcano up here. So I think it's gonna be kind of challenging, but the views are gonna be worth it. I mean, even just from here, look at this. I bought a hat yesterday, but I didn't bring it because I thought it would be really windy out on the water. And now Here I am with my hood.
Looking at your socks.
Following the dock.
We made it to the top. Woo. It was a tough finish. The volcano gets super steep and it's all like kind of sand, and so you're climbing up but you're sliding it back down, and it's so steep you can literally kind of use your hands to brace yourself on some of the rocks. We thought we were at the summit over there, but as it turns out there's a tiny little bit more to go, but it's mostly flat and it's not made of sand, so we're almost at the top. Here we go. Made it back. Going down was equally as difficult in different ways. It was quite steep and the sand was so difficult, like you're just sliding down pretty much all the way. But absolutely worth it. It was awesome. Just had the best tasting tecate of my life. Something about sweating up a mountain and then coming back to the beach. Just makes it taste better. It was so tasty I forgot to film it. But you guys, this is incredible. What a place. The fact that you can hike up a volcano, come back here and snorkel and see tons of fish. The water is refreshing, but it's not cold. It's so calm. There's mountains everywhere. This is why I love Baja. After a bumpy ride back to Loreto, this pelican hitched a ride to shore, and then we had some time to relax and get changed for dinner. One of the most memorable meals of this entire trip. Hotel Oasis is a family-run hotel and restaurant located right on the waterfront in Loreto. Every Saturday, they cook shellfish in the traditional tatemada style in the ground. While we waited for the oysters to cook, I enjoyed a nice cold Pacifico. Then we dug into the most incredible seafood buffet with 3 different preparations of oysters, 2 different preparations of chocolate clams, and some meat and vegetables. After a very good sleep, it was time for one last activity in Loreto, kayaking around the coastline. The way out was easy since we were going with the current. The water was so shallow and we saw tons of wildlife. But the paddle back was a big struggle against the current. At times it felt like we weren't moving forward at all. But it was a fun challenge and so worth it for all that we got to see. Made it back. Kayaking back was really quite difficult. It was like trying to paddle through mud. It was like we weren't going forward at all, but worth it. The views out there, we saw jumping manta rays, we saw dolphins, there were tons of birds, there were osprey, and then these mountains everywhere. It's just incredible here. No one else is here. We saw our kayaks, a couple palapas. What a stunning place. We're right by the airport. We actually just saw a private jet take off, so that was kind of cool. This trip to Loreto was one for the books. Exploring the adventure activities with a big group of blogging friends, the weather, the views, the hiking, the wildlife that we saw. I left Loreto already plotting a return trip, especially now that I have a hiking book to help me explore all of the different trails when I return. I will see you again soon, Loreto. And until next time, thanks as always for watching.